Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Jack. Thanks for joining me on this video. I was in the process of researching for a different video, but then Tesla's Artificial Intelligence Day came upon us and they presented some really cool stuff. And so I wanted to share all of that today, specifically talking about their supercomputer and what it means in regards to full self-driving, as well as talk about their Tesla robot that they unveiled that they are working on. And I want to kind of tie all this into what I'm seeing in the healthcare industry or the medical field and the lack of workers these days, and how we're basically seeing that across many sectors of the workforce, and how the pandemic has sort of ushered in the possible adoption of a robotic workforce in the future. I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but I hope to make this entertaining and very informative for you. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. So the point of AI Day was essentially to recruit as much talent as they can to help them accomplish their goals. And the large majority of the presentation was talking about what they are doing in regards to the hardware part of it and building their supercomputer that they call Dojo, and how they have essentially built it from the ground up and just how powerful it truly is. Once it's completed, it will be one of the, if not the most powerful supercomputer on the face of the earth at this time. And all of this is done to help them accomplish what they really want to achieve with the Tesla vehicle fleet. And that is to achieve level 5 fully autonomous driving. And for those of you who don't know, level 5 means that if you achieve that level of autonomous driving, basically you can just kick back in the back seat and have the vehicle take you to your destination by just telling it where to go. Obviously, this is something that is extremely difficult to achieve, and what you need to do in these scenarios is collect as much data as possible, which Tesla has done. And the current fleet of their cars out on the road by far has collected the absolute most data of any autonomous driving technology or company that is out there. And what they have been doing with all this data is essentially creating a simulator as well, and having their supercomputer run these simulations to try and make it even better. And so all of this has sort of led to the evolution of Tesla as the company. You know, originally they set off as a car company, and even Elon Musk himself has talked about it as, you know, from a car company to, you know, car and energy company. And then, you know, a battery day, he was quoted in saying that, you know, Tesla will mainly be known for its manufacturing. And now he has come out and said during AI Day that Tesla will be known for its robotics capability. It kind of points towards the constant evolution of this company. The pace of innovation is truly phenomenal at Tesla. So if you take what they have to accomplish in regards to figuring out how to have level 5 autonomous driving, and all of their cameras around the car identifying every object and figuring out how to respond to all these real world scenarios, it's not too far of a stretch to think about transferring this to, say, a Tesla robot. It will be filled with cameras and will run on a lot of the same architecture that is running within the Tesla vehicles. And it will also take advantage of the same hardware in regards to the supercomputer that they are building as well. And so if you think about building an autonomous robot in regards to teaching it to do jobs that Elon Musk was saying initially will be, you know, jobs that people do not want to do and are very dangerous. If you're going to train a humanoid robot to do tasks like that, it needs to have two things. It has to have the hardware and the software. Tesla is in the lead for the software, and the hardware is actually already being done by several different types of companies. It's already possible to do all of that part of it. So just look at what Boston Dynamics has already done. You know, a while back I did a video where I ended by showing these Boston Dynamic robots dancing. And now Boston Dynamics just released a brand new video of these same robots performing parkour activities. As you're watching this video, just look at what they are doing. They are able to run across uneven ground. They are able to jump and hop, as well as walk across a balance beam. And then they essentially end the video by them vaulting over an object onto a platform and then doing backflips off of it. The one thing you will note about these robots, however, is that their hands are basically just made of a ball. Obviously, if you were to have a humanoid robot help you accomplish various tasks, it has to have fine dexterity movements, much like a human being would. If you take a look here at this particular robot, which is essentially a kitchen assistant, it can cook a meal for you from scratch and put all the ingredients in there, and basically voila, there you have a finely cooked robotic meal. And this transfers into prosthetic limbs, and here's a video basically demonstrating just how fine those movements are as well, and how life-changing this technology has been for people that have lost various limbs. And they're doing this not only for the upper extremity but also for the lower extremity as well. So take all of this and combine it into one robotic form. Now suddenly you have a humanoid robot that can, say, go to the grocery store and pick up groceries for you. It can perhaps clean your house or fold your laundry, go to the fridge and get you a beverage. It can essentially help you with what we call in the medical field ADLs, or activities of daily living. Basically the functions that you need to do to survive on a day-to-day basis. And I see this being particularly helpful for the elderly population who obviously need assistance. And take all of this now and let's look at this in light of the pandemic, where the workforce has dwindled drastically and the healthcare environment has taken a brutal hit. And I see this every day. You have doctors, nurses, various healthcare workers quitting in droves. There are hospital systems that even lack the staff to carry out surgeries. And you have various restaurants like McDonald's who are essentially paying people to beg them to show up for their job interview. So imagine that you are a small business owner, or say you run a large corporation and you have this lack of shortage. And in comes the ability to essentially have a humanoid robotic worker who comes with many advantages. This robot does not take vacation. It does not need a lunch break. It does not need to go to the bathroom. You don't need to buy it healthcare benefits or any type of benefit. It will work 24/7. It doesn't get sick. And you don't need to worry about various complaints or harassment issues, because one robot's not going to sexually harass another robot or discriminate against another robot. It deals away with a lot of the quote-unquote human problems. And so that brings us to the question of, okay, well, if you have these robots replacing real-life workers, well, what are people to do for work? And I think that is where we get to the topic of where a UBI, or universal basic income, will need to be discussed. And Elon Musk mentioned this during his presentation as well. Because I do not see owners of businesses and owners of corporations and things not transitioning more and more to artificial intelligent robotic workforces. And that leads to a whole other discussion in regards to, why do you work? Study after study has shown that a lot of people that go to work actually are not happy going to work. Now, if we give these individuals a universal basic income and it's enough money to provide for, the essential needs to live, so things like food, shelter, and clothing, at that point, what will these individuals end up doing? And I guess in that scenario, we should throw food, shelter, clothing, and smartphones, because a lot of people probably can't live without their smartphones. What will the world look like at that point? And, there have been various theories. The one theory that I like a lot is that if you take away the basic reason as to why quite a few people end up going to work, and that is to provide for themselves and their loved ones, then it will revert to people helping each other a lot more and offering their services. So say you are trained as a plumber or an electrician, then say someone in your neighborhood has an issue. You're more apt to go and help that individual as opposed to, wanting to get paid to do that as well. And in return, somebody else will help you with something in your house. If we get a universal basic income, then what will crime look like even? And take it a step further, as Elon Musk mentioned during the actual presentation, what will our economy look like? If you look at the economy is essentially based off of labor. And how strong an economy is how strong the labor force is producing. And if now you have what is seemingly a endless labor force, what will various economies look like? So what about Skynet? So for those of you who don't know, Skynet is the artificial intelligent computer that basically takes over the world in the famous movie The Terminator. If you're someone that follows Elon Musk and watches his interviews and truly tries to understand him as a person as opposed to just reading headlines and believing what the media will have you believe, if you follow him and watch his interviews, you will understand that he truly believes that one of the biggest dangers to human beings is artificial intelligence. So you might be wondering at this point, okay, well, if he is so scared of artificial intelligence destroying the human race, then why is he building one? He has been quoted many times in saying that there needs to be more regulations around this entire space. However, we're just simply not seeing it. And the fact of the matter is that this exponential evolution of technology in creating a humanoid robot to do all these different types of things, it's inevitable, it's unavoidable that it's going to happen. The question simply is, who is going to do it first and what are they going to do with that technology? And so I have a lot more faith and I sleep a little bit better at night knowing that Tesla and Elon Musk is at the helm and basically guiding all this. So I just want to make some closing remarks here because if you're new to watching this video and you're seeing all this stuff, it can be a little freaky, right? I mean, it can kind of freak you out a little bit and what the future holds. We are living in unprecedented times and a lot of that has to do with the pace of innovation afforded to us through all of the technological advances, mainly through how powerful computers have become. And then when you throw artificial intelligence and neural net training on top of that, as well as various advancements in robotics, and the future is going to come at us extremely quickly. And it's exciting and it's going to be weird, sort of all at the same time. Human beings in general are not used to seeing this pace of innovation that has gone up exponentially. And so, you can get things like vaccines that come out in various things and it will seem like it's just come out entirely too quickly. And when this occurs, there will be a lot of distrust as well as sort of a lot of lack of understanding about the science and technology behind it as to how it got to where, it became adopted and released to the general public. However, I am one to sort of take a step back and look at the general good that technology and science has done for the human race and look at all the diseases that it has cured. I talked about before in my CRISPR video, the gene editing video, how we have now cured seemingly sickle cell disease, which is like unheard of. And the mRNA technology that's been used in vaccines and various things that's also being looked at to treat cancer and as well as the CRISPR gene editing capabilities. And the future is just really exciting. However, I think that there will need to be laws that would need to be drafted to sort of control some of this at the same time, because I think that if in the wrong hands of people with the wrong motivations, this can get out of hand rather quickly. And the other thing that I really love about what Elon Musk has done with Tesla and SpaceX, and again, if you look at historically, they're the top two companies that the majority of engineers want to go work for, is that these companies have given us something to be excited about again, to reignite the space race and, to think that one day we're going to Mars as well as the moon and setting up establishments there, as well as looking at all of these technological advances of what has been done at Tesla and SpaceX. It inspires an entire generation. It is also the reason why I'm so big on, being a lifelong learner and doing videos on it and encouraging others to stay on top of whatever field that you're in, because of the fact that many companies will adopt this technology, and those that don't, and quite a few of them, are just not used to the pace of this innovation neither. And you will see many large corporations that exist today, possibly some of these big legacy autos, that will become completely bankrupt in the future. Therefore, it is so crucial that we stay ahead of all this and see how various advances in science and technology and robotics and all these other things that we talked about in this video, and how it's going to affect your future, your children's future. How are you going to advise your children in regards to, what job they should pursue down the road when they become an adult? And so a lot of these videos that I do is to try and encourage others not to be caught flat-footed, because the last thing you want is to be down the road, with a family and then suddenly, maybe you lost your job because your company wasn't prepared for the breakneck pace of, the disruptive technology that put them out of work, or that, your job got replaced by a robot or something. And so with that, I'll close this video. As always, if you like what you saw here, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with others if you found this video very informative. And so till next time, take care, stay safe. Bye-bye. Pura Vida.